So here's the last section for chapter 10. We're going to be looking at a bank reconciliation. Okay. So when we're looking at bank reconciliations, this is what it does. So it's another means for us to keep a good track record of our transactions, especially when we use things like credit cards and we're spending left and right, right? Writing checks here and there, you know, spending our money very quickly, very, in, and we have to keep track of that, right? We need to know where our money goes when every time we write a check, when is it taken out of? When we charge things on our credit cards, when did they post the charges? Okay, so with that being said, the good thing about what our bank reconciliation does is it ensures that all of your accounting is also accurate as well. But we have to also understand is that when we, spend our money, right? Or when we make our deposits for money, right? We have to understand that the bank, um, it takes time for the bank to be able to process that transaction, right? Especially when you're writing a check, because when you're writing a check and you send it out to somebody, it doesn't take out from your checking account, right? Because it's based on the person who receives that check and whether they deposit it into their bank account or not. So the best rule of thumb here is that what we need to do is we need to ensure that when we do our transactions that we are making sure that our money is going through, and that what if we write a check that the person received it and cashed it out, and etc., etc. We need to keep a really good track record of our accounts, especially our bank account. Okay. Now, of course, we've seen what a check does, right? And we talked about this uh, feature right here, the date. The date allows you to, have a window of opportunity, or like a window for that person to be able to cash the check out, right? And the thing about checks is that checks actually hold, I believe it's either 60 or 90 days value, meaning you don't have to cash it out right away. It lasts for, actually, no, it lasts for 6 months, excuse me. A check is valid for 6 whole entire months. So think about it. If a person is receiving on the other end and they want to hold it off till the end of the month, they can do that. And that's why it is very, very important that you do check up on your bank account often, just to make sure that the person received the check and make sure that they, deposit it on time. So then you know how much money you still have in your bank at all times. Especially because if we're keeping a track record on our end saying, okay, I spent this money, I wrote a check out, so that means this money's gone, right? But when you go, so you have a whole bunch of things out on your list saying that you should have about like $100 left. But when you go into your bank account, right, and you see that you still have like maybe like $500 left because the other person hasn't taken the money out. So that's why it's important that you do utilize the bank reconciliation for the reason to make sure that where your money's going is going somewhere, and that you don't accidentally overwrite too many checks, and so on and so forth. Okay. So this is what happens when you write your check, right? This is, you should have a check register. It usually comes with the book if you get it from the bank. There's a little flap that you can insert into your checkbook itself, and it basically it's like a miniature ledger where you can write out uh, um, like when is the date that you wrote your check out, how much was it for, who did you write it out for, and so on and so forth, and why did you write it out. Okay, so in this case, this is another way that you can keep track of record of your checks that you write. Okay, so a good one is going to be a bank statement, right, to do a reconciliation, because every single month the bank does give you statements to let you know how much money you have as of right now and so on and so forth, right? Now, again, when you are doing a reconciliation, you are comparing your books to the bank statement. Because remember, your book, your ledger, right, that you handwrite yourself, right? You wrote that you wrote a bunch of checks and that the money's gone. It's not in your bank account. But in this case, right, when we understand the concept of other entities or other organizations, so in this case, if it's going from your bank institute, right, you're gonna know that it's also on the receiving end of the person that's receiving the check. Did they deposit that check into their checking account? Because that's how the transaction gets taken out from your bank, is that's how a check clears. But other things too, let's say, for example, you deposit your paycheck, right? If you decide to deposit your paycheck at 6 o'clock on a Friday, right, it won't clear until Monday. Well, actually, Monday it processes it and then it clears on Tuesday, because that's just how the bank works, right? They only operate between the regular business days of Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., right? So in this case, that's also another reason why you need to make sure and keep a good track record before you keep spending all the money that you have. So that's what you get from your bank institute, is that you get a monthly statement to let you know how much money you currently have and how much money has been cleared out, and things that you deposited, written out checks, and all the transactions you've done, activity that you've done within that month. Okay, and this is where you're going to compare your books, so then you match your books to make sure you have enough money at the end of the month to make your next transactions. Okay, so you're going to receive a bank statement. Here's a few things that you need to know. So terminology, right? First one is going to be EFT. EFT is electronic funds transfer, straightforward. A ACH is going to be your auto clearinghouse. So if you actually ever charged your card, your bank card, or any kind of card at a system, right, that you'll normally see ACH. That's auto clearinghouse, because what they do is you can charge interest, or for example, if you tipped right on a credit card, they don't calculate that till afterwards. So that's where the auto clearinghouse will come into play. NSF is non-sufficient funds. So it's if you write something faulty and you didn't have enough money, usually when you see something that's stamped NSF, it usually determines that you didn't have enough money, but they still process the check at the end of the day, right? If you got something else where it's a bounce check, you will see it. It will say right here that you have bounced a check and you have a bounce check fee. Okay. So and then, of course, you're going to be comparing it to your own cash ledger itself. So when we talk about our own cash ledger, right, this could be your checking ledger, whatever it is. It's your means to keep track of the money that's in your bank account. So in this case, right, you're going to start with your beginning balance of what you have in your bank, and you're going to be writing a bunch of checks. You're going to be depositing a bunch of money, XYZ, right? This is your means that you're keeping track of your own cash in the bank, however you'd like to keep it track of, right? Saying, I wrote these checks, I deposited all this money, right? So that's what you're going to be comparing. You're going to be comparing your cash ledger to the bank statement, because we don't know if the money that you deposited cleared or not, or we don't know if the checks you wrote actually cleared or not, okay? So how do we do a bank reconciliation? So like I mentioned, right, you're going to be comparing your books with what the bank says, okay? And then you're going to compare what the bank says to your books, right? So in this case, we're going to be looking at how to compare each item on here. So first things first is, how do we understand this? We understand it as if, what do we know that the bank doesn't know? And what does the bank know that we don't know, right? So that's how we break it down, is understanding that concept. So if we start on the bank side, right, we're looking at to what does the bank not know that we know on our end, right? because we know we wrote a bunch of checks and we know that we deposited all these money. But the bank doesn't know that because it could be processing, it could be in transit. So that's what deposits in transit mean, meaning you may have recorded that you made a deposit, but the bank hasn't processed and cleared it yet. So that's why the bank doesn't know that you have money in the bank because you made your deposit. And same thing with outstanding checks, right? You know you wrote those checks. They're written on your ledger, but the bank doesn't know that it's being sent out and it's currently pending for someone for the other person to deposit into their bank. So they don't know that you wrote those checks. They only know once the person clears that check. So in this case, that's how we have to understand it. Okay? Now, of course, when we look at the bank statement side, we're always going to start with what the ending balance says on the actual bank statement. Okay? And then, of course, when we understand, right, if the bank doesn't know that we made some deposits, then you're gonna add money to the bank account because at the end of the day, that money will eventually clear. Okay? And then you're going to subtract any amounts that you are pending outstanding checks for. So checks that you've been written out that haven't cleared yet, or the other person, they received it but haven't put in their bank yet, or is currently in the process of being transferred. Okay? And then you should have a new adjusted ending balance. Okay? This adjusted ending balance should match your adjusted ending balance on your cash side, on your cash ledger. Okay? So once you start with the ending balance on your bank, you're going to add your deposits, you're going to subtract your outstanding checks, and then you're going to get a new adjusted balance. Okay? Now let's talk about what the cash on our side, because we're the cash ledger, right? The bank knows something that we don't know, right? The bank knows that they charged us money to do service fees. They're the ones that's responsible for making those extra fees and extra charges, right? And they're the one that's also collecting interest and things for us, right? Especially when we have set up those things where let's say we have people that owe us on an account, right? And we have interest that's applied onto it. They're collecting the interest for us. Okay? So that's what they know, right? But we don't know that on our end. We don't know that we got charged the fees because it's just going to pop up on your statement. They're not going to notify you. Usually banks, they don't notify you. They only notify you if, let's say, oh, hey, you're running low on your bank account, right? But you have to set that up. But they're not going to notify you anything. They're not going to tell you, hey, you only have a penny left in your bank account. Hey, you just wrote a faulty check. Or hey, you just collected $10 worth of interest because your customer made a payment. They're not going to tell you. They're just going to automatically update their account and expect you to do your duties to go into your checking account on your online banking, whatever, and check those numbers out. They're not going to let you know that. So that's the idea here is, what does the bank know that you don't know? Well, you don't know how much interest a customer is going to be giving you. You don't know how much auto clearinghouse that they're going to give you. And you don't know how many fees that could be tacked on that the bank is going to charge you. Okay? You may understand the agreement terms of service charges, but that's obviously something else, right? But you don't know when they're going to charge you bounce check fees. You don't know if they're going to charge you non-sufficient funds check fees, right? So those kind of transactions are what you're going to record on the cash ledger side on your end. So you're going to start out with your check ledger, right? And you're going to see that you have an ending balance. You're going to add anything that's interest or auto clearinghouse. You're going to subtract any fees, and then you're going to get your adjusted ending balance. And then these two must match at the very bottom, okay? So let's go ahead and dive right into an example so then we can go ahead and understand what this all means, okay? So first, let's talk about the bank side. Okay, we're gonna do left and then right. Okay, so the bank side, right? We need to first find out how much the ending balance is on my bank statement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my bank statement and I'm going to find my ending balance. So it says right here, my ending balance as of May 31st is a total of $9,446. So that number, raw my bank statement, I'm going to take that and I'm going to pop it into this table. Okay? Now I need to see how many deposits are in transit, meaning how many deposits have I made that haven't cleared yet. So I'm going to check on my account register, right? Usually you'll have like a cash ledger or you'll have a deposit slip register, right? And you're going to ensure how many deposits you've made. So in this case, right, it's date stamped, right? You have the deposit slip number and you have the amounts that you deposited. So in this case, I have a total of 2, 4, 6, 7 deposits that I've made. Okay, and they're in the amount of, right here, it tells you the amount. What I'm going to do is I'm going to compare to my cash, to my bank account to ensure how many of my deposits actually cleared. So the best way to do it is to count how many deposits you've made that month and then compare it to your statement. So in this case, I have a total of 7 deposits, and on my bank statement, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only have 6 deposits. So in this case, normally, the best way to find it is usually if you deposit something at the end of the month. That's usually your go-to to look up for your first missing number. But second thing you're gonna do is once you've gone through that, you're just gonna double check on your bank statement and compare, right? So you have deposit number 4 for, so you have deposit number 4, you have deposit number 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. And here you have 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So in this case, deposit slip number 4427 has not cleared yet in your bank. So therefore, I have $254.52 that I need to put into my bank, okay? Because eventually it will clear, okay? So there you go. I popped in that I currently have this deposit currently in transit for the $254.52. Now, second thing I need to do is I need to confirm which checks that I wrote out actually cleared, because for the ones that have not cleared, those are going to be considered outstanding checks, meaning they're pending to be received or they're pending to be cashed. Okay, so in this case, right, here's my check register, right? Like I said, like when you have a checkbook, you normally are going to keep track of your the amount of checks that you've written out through the check register. So in this case, I wrote check number 125, 126, 127, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. Now I'm going to take all of that because this is the checks that I wrote. Which one of them has cleared through my bank? Well, now I'm going to check my bank statement and see which one's actually cleared. So check number 125, 26, 27, 28, 29, and I'm missing 130. And then 131 is the last thing that cleared. So on my check register, right, I have check number 130, 132, and 133 that I've written out that has not cleared yet. So in this case, those 3 checks for $846, 1,125, and 245 are all going to be listed right here because these are all pending to be cleared. So in this case, this is what I got to do. I got to take my ending balance of $9,446, right? I need to add the money that's going to eventually clear for the $254, and then I'm going to subtract all of these checks because I wrote these checks out. They're currently either pending or the person that I wrote the check out to has not either received my check, or they have received the check but has not put it into their bank yet. So they're all pending transactions. So in this case, this is what should eventually get cleared out from my checking account. And once you've calculated that, right, 9,446 plus 2,000 plus $254, okay, minus 2,216. I should now get an adjusted amount of $7,483 because that's how much money I should have in my bank account. Okay? So that is that. So now that I finished my bank statement side, I need to confirm that my cash ledger is going to be equal on the other side. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to start on my cash ledger to see how much my ending balance is in my cash ledger. So in this case, how do I tell? I just go all the way down to the very last day of the month, so May 30th, and I check to see what my account balance is. So right now, I currently have a debit balance of $7,338.96. So I take that number, pop it in there, okay? That's my starting number. That's the ending balance in my check and my cash ledger account. Next thing I gotta do is I gotta add any interest or any auto clearinghouse that has that the bank has collected for me. So in this case, right, checking on the bank statement. So as I mentioned before, right, if you allow your customers to make payments to you digitally or online, right, and let's say you have it financed, right? So you tell them, hey, you can make it a payment back to me because you owe me money, but I'm going to charge you 24% interest, right? So that's where this interest is coming into play, right? Where you're collecting the interest off of those payments, okay? And then auto clearinghouse, like I mentioned before, if you decide to tip on your bank account or credit card, whatever it is, right? And the bank is collecting that money for you. Anything extra that's going to be considered an auto clearinghouse. Okay, it's extra money that is going to eventually be taken or added from that individual's banking account to the company bank account. So in this case, auto clearinghouse is what you're going to be adding. This is all income, right? Interest that you've collected on top of what you sold, plus any extra tips or wages or anything like that. So right here, auto clearinghouse and interest. So in this case, I collected $15 of interest and $215 worth of auto clearinghouse. I don't know that. So because the bank already collected it for me, that's going to be considered something that I'm going to add to my cash ledger. So in this case, I got interest of $15 and auto clearinghouse for $215, which gives me a total of $230. Okay. Now I need to subtract any fees that the bank has charged me. So in this case, I have two charges here. I have a service charge of $50, okay? And I have a return check fee. So that means either I wrote the return check or someone wrote a check to me and it bounced. So I got a return check fee, which charged me a total of $35, okay? Now, if you guys remember, or if you guys just know in general, if you end up withdrawing too much money from your bank, right, depending on which bank institute that you're at, right, you could be, adding more fees and things that, could happen to you. So again, if you over withdraw your bank account, usually Bank of America, I believe it's $35. It might be $50 now. But every time you overdraft the bank account, or let's say you wrote a check and they forward it for you and they charge you for the NSF fee, right, the non-sufficient funds fee, right, that typically will be anywhere from $30 to $20, $30, $50, okay? So that's what this happened here, is that we deposited a check and it bounced on our end because the person who wrote the check to us wrote a faulty check. So not only does it bounce them, it bounces us too because we deposited a faulty check. Okay, so in this case, $35 plus $50 service charge. So therefore, that's something I'm going to subtract out on my cash ledger side. So service charges of $50 and return check fee of $35, giving me a total of $85 fees. Okay, so I'm going to take my account balance, my ending balance of $7,338. I'm going to add my interest in ACH of $230, and I'm going to subtract out my fees of $85. And that should give me a grand total of $7,483.96. And guess what? These match at the end of the day. Okay, and that's what you want. Your goal is to make sure you match up your ledger to the bank statement. Okay? All right? Any questions here?
No.
Okay? So the purpose of this is so when once you've done that, right, you're keeping a track record, right? So you're keeping in mind that you're saying, well, if these 3 checks haven't cleared yet, then these are going to be the flags, right? That means you need to either contact these individuals to make sure that they received the check and that they deposit it, or this is something that you need to keep in mind for the next time is that did these checks finally clear, right? So you're going to do a lot of checking up on your own account. Okay? And of course, once you've completed your bank reconciliation, you need to adjust your books accordingly because in this case, you need to update your ledger, right? And how do you update your ledger? You have to post to the journal first before it can add to your ledger. So in this case, right, you're going to say that you increased your checking account by earning interest income of $350, or sorry, $230. And then, of course, you had bank service charges. So all your fees tallying up a total of $85, which takes away from your checking account. So in this case, the bank is going to add the money for you automatically and it's going to subtract the money for you automatically. Okay, so that means, again, you're not going to get notified for this. They're just going to charge you and you're going to have to find out yourself by checking up your own account. Okay. All right. So chapter review. So we talked about the bank reconciliation. A good mnemonic device of this is since we're working on 2 sides, right? The bank side and the cash side, right? Bank side, cash side is us, okay? Bank side is the bank side. This is what you have to do. If you're always going to be calculating the bank reconciliation for the bank, right? Understand they're your dues. You have to do it, okay? Dues meaning deposits in transits and outstanding checks. So DO, okay? And then on our end, on our side, right, we have some ifs, okay? We have some interest and we have some fees. So that's how we understand, or a better way to kind of memorize this is that when you're dealing with the bank, you're doing. If you're dealing with the cash, our side, you have some ifs. Okay? So, and then of course at the end of the day, your ending balances must match. Okay? And then we talked about interest, right? We talked about simple interest versus compound interest. Right here are the formulas of simple interest and compound interest. Okay? And here's the formula that you can use for Excel. Right? So let's go ahead and dive right into our first example here. So bank reconciliation, problem number 1. Okay? So this is what it looks like, right? You have a bunch of copies of some checks here, right? You have a copy of the bank statement right here, okay? You are going to also have a copy of your own cash ledger yourself, along with a check register and deposits register. So again, you have your deposit slips here. Okay? And of course, you have this table right here to help you calculate your bank reconciliation. So, which side do you want to solve for first? Do you want to solve for the bank side or do you want to solve for our side?
Bank.
Let's do the bank first. Okay? So in this case, right, we got to start with the ending balance in our bank account. So let's take a look at our bank statement to find out how much money we have in our bank account. So here's your bank statement. It says right here when you started the beginning balance as of, let's see, as of, where's the date here? Okay, as of, where is the date here? It's supposed to have the date. So we're doing as of August, okay? So as of August 1st, you had a beginning balance of $670, and then at the end of August 31st, you had a total of $1,055. So in this case, what's my ending balance in my bank account right now?
1,055.
1,055. So in this case, that's how much you have in your bank account. Okay? So now I need to add any deposits in transit. Okay? So that means which deposits that I've done haven't cleared yet. So in this case, let's take a look at my deposits section. Okay? So I deposited 1, 2, 3, 4. I deposited 5 times. Okay, in the month of August. All right? So let's compare my deposits in my bank statement. So here are my deposits. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 5 deposits actually cleared. So in this case, right, you're going to go ahead and go forth and check out which one has not cleared yet. So in this case, first rule of thumb is usually the end of the month would be a good way to start. Or you could just compare the numbers. So in this case, let's see. I deposited $100, then $350, and $400, and then $225. So in this case, I deposited my 100, so that's good. 350, that's good. 400, that's good. 225, that's good. The one that I'm missing is this $30 deposit. So in this case, I'm going to highlight it so you know I'm missing this amount right here. I'm missing $30. So in this case, that's exactly what I'm going to put in here. I'm going to say, well, I am missing $30. So deposit on August 31st, right? August 30th, right? I'm missing a deposit for $30. Okay? Now I need to figure out how many checks I have written that actually have cleared. So here's your check register. Okay? You have check number 101, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You wrote a total of 8 checks. Now let's see how many the bank has cleared. Okay? You got check number 1 here, 2. You're missing 3 because the next one cleared was 4, 5, 6, and 7. You wrote a total of 8 checks, and you're missing 103 and 108. Okay? So let's take a look. Check number 103 was for $20. Okay? And check number 108 was also for $20. Okay? So let's see. Check number 103. Check number 108 for $20 each. giving you a total of $40 that you have to subtract. Okay? So in this case, right, let's go ahead and do our calculation. If I started with $10.55, right, I'm going to add $30 for my deposits in Transat, and I'm going to subtract $40 for my outstanding checks. So what should be my ending balance?
1,045.
1,045. Okay? I do not need to stop here because I still have to continue to make sure that my cash ledger matches as well. Okay? So in this case, right? What does our side know that the bank, or what do I not know that the bank knows? So in this case, we got to start off with our cash ledger ending balance. So in this case, I'm going to look at my cash ledger. All right? Go down to the very last date, August 31st. How much money do you have currently?
775.
You have $775. So in this case, 775. What do I need to add? I need to add my interest and my auto clearinghouse. So let's take a look at my bank statement. Okay? Right here at the bottom here, the credits that you have here, you have auto clearinghouse for $250 and you have interest for $50. Okay? So auto clearinghouse $250 and interest was $50. So in this case, that's exactly what I got to do. I got to pop this information into my table here. So I have auto clearinghouse for $250 and I have interest for $50. So a grand total of $300 that I need to add. Okay? Then we got to see how many fees that the bank has charged me. So let's take a look. The bank has charged you 2 fees, one for service and one for NSF. Okay? Non-sufficient funds. Okay? So therefore, I got charged $20 for services, right? Because you use the bank to collect money for you, use the bank to process checks for you, use the bank to buy checks for you, you know, et cetera, right? You have to do a bank service charge. Okay? And of course, you were charged $10 for a non-sufficient funds. Okay? So $20 service charge and $10 NSF. So fees, right? You got service charge of $20 and you have NSF for $10. So in this case, you need to subtract $30. So in this case, what is 775 plus 300 of your money here, interest, minus $30 worth of fees?
$1,045.
You get 1045. So in this case, we match on both sides. So that means we did our bank reconciliation correctly. Okay? Good so far? Any questions?
No.
Okay. Let's do the second one and it'll be a little harder, okay? So the second one's going to be problem number 4 here. So you can ignore those checks here. Right, you have a copy of your bank statement, okay? A copy of your cash ledger, okay? And you have a copy of your check register as well as your deposits, okay? And here's your table. So which side do you want to start on first? You want to do the bank or you want to do the cash first?
The bank.
Okay. Okay, what's your ending balance in your bank account?
850.
Your ending balance in your bank account?
Okay, 1 second. I don't. Okay, ending balance 24,594
Good.
points.
This is your ending balance. I'll highlight that so you know what this is. This number here. Oh. Okay, so we're going to highlight this. So 24,594.72. 24,594.72. Okay, 24,594.72. Okay, what do you need to add?
Like all the months, all the checks.
You don't add checks. What do you need to add? What do you need to add?
Deposit.
Okay, so I need to look at my deposits, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's your deposit slips. Okay, and then let's take a look at my bank statement deposits. Which one am I missing?
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have here we have 72, 3, 4, 5, 77 until 80. Okay.
So which deposit am I missing?
Augustine.
August when?
August. Okay, we have 28, 27, 23rd. Oh yeah, where is August 1?
Where is August 1?
Yeah.
$430. $430.
Okay.
Isn't that the first one that you have here? $430.
So now we have August 3, August 11, 28, 29, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4, 11. Oh, where is the 3?
What number? What amount are you looking at?
We have August 3 in the top.
August 3rd. I don't know where you're looking at August 3rd because we're not looking at checks, we're looking at deposits.
Oh, okay. We have August 4, 11. Okay, 4, 11, 17, 28. Okay. Now what we have here? We have 10. So um 10. So where is 11?
Where is 11? What
Mhm.
what amount are you looking at?
I'm not very sure. I look for like August 4, 11, 17.
So remember, just because you deposited the money on this date, that doesn't mean it's going to clear the same day on your check on your bank account. Right? So remember, if I received my paycheck on Friday and I deposited on Friday at 6 o'clock, it won't clear until Tuesday. So that's the same thing here. You can't be relying on the dates to determine your deposits. You need to look at the number. How much did you deposit?
So we need the 430, right?
That already cleared.
Okay.
So okay, so here. Okay, so when you deposit money to the bank, how do you know you have money in the bank?
We deposit and we see it.
Exactly. So in this case, I deposited $430. Do you see it in your bank?
Yes.
Yes, okay. What about my deposit for $890? Did it appear on my bank?
Yes, we see it. And we have 128. This is we see it. And we have 1670. We see it. Okay.
So which one do you not see?
128, 670. Okay. We don't see the 400.
We don't see the 400. Okay, so this is going to be considered something that is in transit. So that means it's waiting to be put into the bank. It's waiting to be processed. So I have the one on August 31st for a deposit for $400. I'm waiting for the $400 deposit on August 31st. Okay? All right? Now we can look at the checks, the outstanding checks, right? That's what we have to subtract, right? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so then how many checks did you write?
11.
Okay, so how many checks cleared out in your bank?
6.
Okay, so which ones did not clear? Which ones are missing?
We have 80. Can I see it?
Give me a second. Okay, so here you go. You have
Uh,
8.
We have 80, 4, 6, 72, and 73. Do we need to look to the amount or to the check number?
You can look, the check number is an easier way to look at it.
Okay. We have from 46 to 70, 72, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 8, 80, 81. Okay, so now we have 872. Okay, we need 46,
Okay.
8, and we need 3, 4. We need 5,
Okay.
75, and we have until 79. We need 88,
Mm-hmm.
and we need 81.
You need an 80, 80, and 80, and 80.
80, 81.
80 and
Uh,
81. Uh-huh. So in this case, you're missing this one.
mhm.
Okay, you're missing 5, right? You're missing the 8.
Yes, and 80, 81.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so those are the 5 checks that you need to put into your table. So you got one for 320, one for 49.21. Okay, you have, let's see, what else are you missing? You have one for 275, one for 401, 275, 401, and then the last check you have here is for 186.50. Okay, so 186.50. Okay, so this was check number, actually just to the number one. What's the number start with? Okay, so 846. Okay, 873, 875. Actually, no, it's 875, 878, 880, and 881. Okay, so tally up all this. How much do I need to subtract? So you got 320, you got 49.21, you have 275, 401, and 186.50. So how much do I need to subtract?
Uh, 5.
Yeah, but what's my total amount I need to subtract?
We need to like add, and after this we minus the number from the number we got, right?
Well, in this case, it's just much easier if you just add up the total amount that you need to subtract. And then do your calculation. So right now I want to know how much in total I need to subtract.
I'm not sure how. Oh, we add the 20, 24, 5, 9, 40. This is the number with 400,
No,
and we.
okay, yeah, you could do that, but then you're going to subtract each one individually. You're going to subtract 320, subtract 49.21, subtract 275. Why don't you just add these all up together to find out how much you have to subtract in grand total?
Oh yeah, okay. 1 second. I need to add all of them. 21. Three, 10. So I got 2400 567. Now we need to add this two number 24594.
What was your total amount that you need to subtract?
24. Like we add all 320, 49 to 75, 401, 164, correct? We add
180,
together.
186. Where did you get 164?
186, sorry. We add all together.
Uh-huh.
I got 2456 7.
How did you get 7? There's a penny there.
From the 21 and 50.
21 plus 50, how's that 7?
Yeah, 71. Sorry.
71.
And now we need this one to minus it from.
Yes. But in this case, let's just go start here. We're going to start with the amount that we started out with, the ending balance. We need to add $400, and then we need to subtract the 2,456.
Okay, 1 second. We need to get the 400 from 24, correct?
We need to add 400 from the 24,000.
Okay, 1 second. 2, 4, 5, 6, 71, and 400. 2, 4, 5, 6, 71, 400. We got 246071.
24.
6071.
Where? Do your calculation again.
400 with 240 5671, correct?
Yes.
Okay. It's 4 2 2 4 5 6 71 400. Yeah, 246071. 246071.
Okay, so you got the total up here. You also calculated the subtraction wrong.
We need to add the 400 for this amount, correct? The 245671.
No, you
Is
don't.
it 72?
This is not the right amount either. Do it again. You need to calculate what this total is here.
Yeah.
What's the total here?
This is, I got 320. Okay. 49, 21, 275, 401, 1860, 50. Okay. Three, 2, 0, 0, 4, 9, 21, 2, 7, 4, 0, 0, 4 0 1 0 0 1 8 6 50. We got 9 4 9 4 3 7 1.
Okay. Yeah. Are you using a calculator to punch this in? Because you're getting the number wrong every single time. 320. All right. 320 plus 275 should give you, was that 590 plus 401? Your total should be 1,231.71. That should be your total. So do it again. 320 plus 49.21. That should give you 369. Okay, plus 275 should give you 644. Plus 401 should give you 1,045. Okay, plus 186.50 should give you a total of $1,231.71.
It's give me same 24 5 6 7. I'm not sure why.
You're either punching too many zeros in here or you're not calculating this correctly. Okay.
320 4 9 21 2 75 4 0 1 1 186 50. This is how do I do it?
You can do this by pen and paper and you would not get the answer that you would get.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, I don't know if you're punching this in the calculator. You're either punching it incorrectly or you'll you're, I don't know, but you're not it's not equaling up. So in this case it's $1,231.71. Okay, so now that I have my net, what I need to subtract, that's my total amount of checks I need to subtract. Now recalculate this. Start from the beginning with $24,594.72. You're going to add $400 because that's how much you collected or that's how much you deposited. Then you're going to subtract $1,231.71. And what do you get?
So I'm not sure why it's give me like different number. Now we take this one, 2 3 1 71, and we add 400. Correct?
Why are you doing 23171? This has nothing to do with it. This is what you're subtracting from your grand total. This has nothing to do with anything else.
So which one we add for the 400? 24?
Start from your very beginning. What did you start with the bank with? How much was your ending balance in your bank account?
Ending balance, ending balance 2459472.
Okay. I need to add $400 to that.
Okay. Here has 24594.72. Okay. 24594.75 to 200. So it's give me 24,794.72.
You're missing, you added 200, not 400. Girari, do this by pen and paper. You'd be able to see that it should be 24,994. But you're just adding 400.
Okay, 24,994 point 72.
Okay? Now you need to subtract $1,231.71.
Okay, 1 second. Here now. 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 1.71. Okay. Minus 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, 0.71. 71. We got 23,763.01.
Okay, so 23,763.21. I mean, 01. Good.
Yes.
That's one side. Now let's do the other. Okay, how much is in your cash ledger right now?
Okay.
So here's your cash ledger. You need to look at the end of the month.
Okay. We have August 16, 23rd, 26, and 27. And we have August 28, 29, 30, and 31. Okay. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Gerari, I'm not asking you to look anywhere else except for look at the very bottom of your cash ledger. We already went through the checks. We already went through the
Okay.
deposits. I'm asking you,
August
what's my
August
ending
13.
balance in my check register right now?
It's 23rd, 23, 995.79.
Good, right? That's the ending balance in your cash ledger right now. It's 23,995.79.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Is much what we got. Okay.
No, it did not match what we have because that's not what we have right now. That's why we need to solve for what we have. That did not match at all. Okay, so what was it? 2399579.
2376. Okay. But this one is.
That's not what you have right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I thought the same one.
No. What's the purpose of doing a bank reconciliation if you haven't even finished the second half yet? You're not even done yet, so you're not matching it right now. You have to do the rest of the equation to solve for it, whether it will match or not. So in this case, what do you need to add into your check ledger or your cash ledger?
We need to add who is we missing, right?
What are we missing?
We miss like how many we miss. We have like 31. Okay. So I'm not sure what we need to add now.
And okay, so
Oh,
look,
the fees. The fees.
why would you add fees? Does this fees mean that you're adding money? What does fees do to your check, to your cash?
Okay, what we need to add? Because I'm not sure.
Look on your PowerPoint. Look at your notes. Look at things to help you. We already did an example already, twice. So what do we need to add? We need to add interest, right? Look. What do I need to add?
Interest.
Interest and what else?
What is this? Fees or lease?
What are we need to do? We need to add, what is this? What does it say right here? Interest and what else?
Surface fees.
What is right under interest?
Interest. AHS.
ACH, Auto Clearinghouse. So in this case, we need to add interest and auto clearinghouse. Okay? So in this case, let's look at my bank statement. Right here, I have interest and I have auto clearinghouse. How much is it for?
We have 550, 1023.7.22. So 550, 1237.2020.
Okay, so how much is that in total?
1 second. 1, 2, 3. 2020, 550. We got. Hello? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. We got 178722.
178.
722.22. 22.
178,722. Okay. All right. Now I need to subtract what? What do I need to subtract from my cash side? What did the bank do to me?
Balance.
What did the bank, what do I have to subtract?
The fees.
Okay.
Surface fees.
Okay. So what fees did they charge me?
$50.
$50 service charges?
And 10 and 80.50. 8.50.
Yes, because you end up bouncing a check, right? So you got $10 NSF fee and you got a bounce check for $850.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
10, 15.
so how much money do I need to subtract?
So 50, 10, 60 with 8, 50, 19.
All right, go do your calculation now. If you started out with 23,999, 995.79, right? And you need to add your interest and ACH of a total of $1,787.27, 22 cents. And you need to subtract out your fees of $910.
So now 23,995.79 add 1,787.22 and minus 19. Okay. So here 2,399.79 787.22 minus 1. I got 24,872.99.
It's 3 point. You missed a couple cents here. So no, it's not 70. It's 71, and it's 20. Not it's 22, not 20. So in this case, you should have 301.
So this is a just balance.
So are the balances correct? Are they the same?
No.
So what does that mean?
I spent cash more
How can you make that assumption? How do you know that you spent more cash?
because 24 and this is 23.
23 is what I have on my end,
Mm-hmm.
and 23 is what I have on the bank side.
So, because when we minus,
No. Okay, so now that you know that there's an imbalance, right? So what do you need to do next? You need to now go through every single transaction to find where a possible mistake can be or where there you have possible money laying around. So in this case, we're going to go through the first things first is checking out our cash ledger, because a cash ledger is going to tell us a lot of information against our bank, okay? So in this case, right, when I started out, right, on July 29, right, before I started my bank, I had a total of something, right? That means, so the very first thing I did was I end up writing a check for $320. Is that true?
$120.
My question is, I end up writing a check for $320. Is that true? So go down here into your check register. Yes, it's true. I wrote
Yes.
$320. However, this check has not cleared yet. So it's already in my system. Okay? I've already check marked that off. Okay? Next one, right? Nothing happened there. The next one, I deposited $340. Right? Is that true? Let's see. Did I make a deposit for $340?
No, it's 4.
No, right
430.
here it's 430, right? But did that clear in my in my bank account? Yes, it did, and it says here that you did deposit $430. So in this case, right? In this case, who's right, the bank or me?
The bank.
The bank, right? You can't just show up to the bank and say I deposit $340 when it clearly says you deposited $430. So in this case, I have a difference here. What's my difference between 430 and 340?
430 and yeah, it's 100.
No, it's not. Do your calculation again. 430 minus 340.
340. So 340 and 440, correct?
430.
Oh, 30. Oh, okay. Uh, 110.
Do that again. You have $430.
Okay.
But you wrote in your book that you recorded $340.
90.
$90. Now, does the bank know I have this money, or do I have to fix this mistake on my end?
We need to fix it.
We need to fix it. That means we need to add $90 to my side. Okay, so there you go. You could say deposit, okay, or not deposit. You could say wrong amount, right? You need to add $90 to your side. Okay, right? You need to add $90 to your side because that's how much money that you have to increase your side by $90. Okay? So in this case, this is going to change, right? It's no longer going to be 787 anymore because you need to add $90 to that. So that should give you 877.22 instead. So therefore, you need to recalculate this. Okay? You could simply just add $90 to this. Right? You should add the $90 to this, so then now you get 24,963. Okay, 96301. Okay? So we found our first mistake is that we recorded the numbers wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
So then now let's keep going because we just don't stop there. All right? Did we write a check out for $50? Yes, we did. Right? We wrote the check out for $50. Next is, did we deposit 501 and then $389? Let's see. I have 501 plus 389. That's correct. I did make this deposit for $890. Yes, I did. Okay. Next one, did I write a check for $150 and then $20? Let's see. Yes, I wrote a check for $150 and I wrote it for $20. Okay. And then here says I deposited $431, $850, and $545. Is that true? Let's see. I deposited 431, 850, and here's my 450. So I saved it for the next time. Okay. So then the next one is, did I cut a check out for $49.21 and then another one for $200? Is that true? I did cut one for $49.21 and for $200. Okay, so that is true. Okay. Next here, I deposited $500 and then $625. Okay, let's see. Right, so here's my 445 from previous. I added my 500 and 625 to get me my 1,670. So yes, that's true. I did make that deposit for the 565 and the 625. Did I cut a check for 560? Let's see. Yes, I did. Right here. Okay. Did I deposit $575? Let's see. In this case, no. The last deposit I made was for $400. So in this case, my last deposit was $400. So that means I missed this 500 and I also missed this $625. So this is cash on hand that I have on my books. Now, does the bank know that I have this money on hand?
No.
No. So therefore, I'm going to say, well, eventually this money is going to be deposited. So I'm going to make a note here that I have cash on hand. Okay? For Okay, so what is that total, right? If I have $575, right, plus $625, how much money do I have on hand? Try again. If I have,
1,000.
keep going.
200.
1200, right? Because this is these two, you have to add them together, not subtract them, okay? Stacy, you're adding these two together because this is you have a deposit for $575 and another deposit for 625. So you're adding these two numbers together. So you have a total of $1,200 on hand. Okay? So add $1,200 to your ending balance, and what do you get? Right? 37 plus 12 is going to give you 49. Right? 37 plus 12 is going to give you 49. And let's take a look now. Now do your balances match 24,963.01 with 24,963.01? Is that true?
Yes.
Yes. So in this case, that is this one here. Okay, any questions to do a bank reconciliation?
No.